You're welcome to yet another Sunday at Business Garage where we share business principles, business fundamentals that we should live as we do our businesses. So I want to kindly, first of all, you're welcome people who are at the studio, the guys at home, you're very welcome. In your living rooms, in your hosting centers and locations, you're very, very welcome. First of all, I want you to encourage you, share the link because the things we're going to learn are key and very fundamental to our business. So share the link to your friends, your family, business leaders that you know because they need to hear this stuff. So again, welcome to this Sunday of May. This is the last Sunday of May, the series. We've been going through key business fundamentals in this month of May. And we've listened to a lot of things that we've learned. But today is the last Sunday of May, and we are going to have a rest month in June. All right? We're going to have a rest month in June. But most importantly, get ready for July. July is big. It's coming with a bang. We have, please save the dates, 8th and 9th of July. Business people, save the dates, 8th and 9th of July. There's a conference called the Thrive Conference where business minds come together and share key things. So 8th and 9th, save the date, all right? Save the date. So we've been going through the month of May with some fundamentals, and I want to share a recap of what we shared. The first Sunday we talked about the leader, and we said everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And we said business leaders should be comfortable doing business because it's moral and it's honorable, right? And the book we recommended there was a book by Daniel Lapin called Thou Shalt Prosper. The next Sunday we talked about marketing. And we said marketing is the first order of the day. Yeah? If you have a business, it is not a business until it has a market. It's not a business until it has a market. So the first thing you do in a business is evangelize. You sell your business, go and market your business. And the book we recommended there was the one-page marketing plan by Alan Dibb. And then we talked about systems and processes. And we said if you're too busy to build systems, good systems, you'll always be too busy. Right? So systems are a principal thing. And systems is documented processes and trained people. Documented processes and trained people. And the book we recommended there was E-Myth Revised by Michael Garber. And last Sunday, we talked about the team and the people. And we said you need to build a cohesive team, a team of trained people who are cohesive, disciple them, empower them, and have candor in your organization. Be able to talk freely about so many things. But the key thing was there, disciple people, empower them, and mentor them. And the book there we recommended was Winning by Jack Welch. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us a powerful woman of God, a pastor. She leads many churches, but also she's a coach with Momentum Leadership Group. Pastor Florence, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
To Business Garage this morning.
Thank you so much.
Please, over to you and share with us what you have for us today.
Wow. Hello. Good morning. Welcome back, Pastor Chris, first of all, because you've been away for a while.
Yeah.
I've been told it's tender after tender after tender.
Yeah. Times are busy.
So good to see you. So good to have you back.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, friends, for having me. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here. My name is Florence Ndagire Ssenyonjo. I'm a coach with Momentum Leadership Group. I'm a John Maxwell speaker, trainer, and coach. And today, I'm so honored to represent Momentum Leadership Group. I bring you greetings from Upmo, who is watching us right now.
By the way, Upmo Kongs, Chelsea won the Champions League. Yeah? I see some people raving fans here. Yeah, so he must be excited wherever he is.
Yeah, and he's taking off some time to rest. And so I'm glad that I'm able to represent Momentum Leadership Group this morning. Yeah, we've had a very wonderful time learning these principles the past couple of weeks. And today we are crowning it because this is the last Sunday of Business Garage in the month for the first half of the year, right? So today we're going to talk about the money. Yes. Yeah? Who is excited? I know that everybody here should be excited. At least if you're not running a non-profit, you're surely excited, right?
Even non-profit.
Yeah, the Kaposh is here. She's going to be cheering me on. Yeah. But before I get into that, I want to send some shout-outs. The things that we've been teaching here, like UpM has mentioned before, are things we teach in a space in Momentum Leadership Group with a couple of businesses that we're equipping that are thriving and growing by leaps and bounds. So today I want to share shout-outs, send shout-outs to Business Group Coaching 3. Wherever you are, I know you are watching. Wonderful business leaders, and one of them is Catherine Hamia from the upper room, and I know she's in the house. I've seen her this morning. Yeah, Catherine, we're cheering you on. Claire Athieno, PK's Organic Farm. Yo. Yeah, Claire, we celebrate you. She's also here in the house. Yay. Then Elizabeth Sebombo, Pastor Liz from Runji. She's in the house. My God, you guys, if you're not here, you're missing out. All the business leaders, your next leads are in this place. Your prospects are in this place. Everybody's in this place, so you need to come once we resume in the month of July. And then Gladys Murunji, Elder Gladys Murunji from Agape Electricals and Electronics. Shout outs to you. I know you're watching all the way from Ndagire. Then Paul Ekrut, the one we know as Eki from Keneo Creations Limited. Eki, I send you greetings. And then Rebecca Mayanja from Kubwa Sports Limited. I send you greetings, Rebecca. So the past couple of weeks, we've been working with these different leaders on their businesses, and they've been making such incredible progress. And today we're going to talk about the money. The money. I know that most of us, at least, everybody sets up a business to do what? To make some money, right? So if you're not making money, maybe there's another reason. Maybe it could be a non-profit and trying to change the world in a different way altogether. But for the most part, so the purpose of this session today is to help leaders turn a profit and set up dependable and reliable financial systems. Yeah? Leaders, never take your eyes off the money. Yeah. It's about the money. Yeah? The money is the bloodline of your business. That's what Richard Branson says. So in 2006, Worship Harvest Ministries started. Yeah? Started in a restaurant called Chongqing. Al Fiesta, then Chongqing. That's how Chris is laughing. So in that place, the rent, the Sunday rent, was 30,000 Uganda shillings, 30K. Doesn't even pay for me, the drivers. Yeah? 30,000. And then that rent was later increased to guess how much? 50,000. And my friends, as much as it sounds like 50K, come on right now, 50K, Pastor Chris, what would you do with 50K? Like really nothing. That time it was such a big deal and such hard work to pay. Such hard work to pay 50K. Never mind, there were other expenses to take care of, right? So the principles I'm about to share with you have taken us from a ministry that's struggling to pay 50,000 to a ministry that is investing over 2 billion. 2 billion from struggling to pay 50,000. God has been so gracious. He's revealed some principles to us. And from practicing those principles faithfully, we practice those principles in Worship Harvest, we practice those principles, these principles I'm about to share with you in Momentum Leadership Group, and we've seen such incredible progress. And in other businesses. And the good news is, you're not just going to hear these principles here. Upmore has written a book called Church Finances. Church Finances, and he's put down all these principles in this book. I know what's amazing? The book primarily was written for church leaders, as the primary audience. Yeah. And business
people are reading it more.
Yeah, they're seeing more results from this book. So there's a number running on your screen. Get the book today. If you're at a location watching us from there, buy the book. If you're here in the audience, it's on sale in the foyer area. Just get yourself the book. These principles we're about to share, we're going to share them in brief, but you can get the detail of it from the book, Church Finances. Right? So are we ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Are you ready? I'm expecting that cheer all the way, right? Yeah. So there are 8 principles that Apostle Moses talks about in this book, Church Finances. And the first principle he talks about, when you practice principles, principle is a principle, right? It never fails on any day. It's like gravity, right? Any day you jump off the building, you're assured you're going to land down. So these are principles. You're guaranteed that they're going to bring increase if you practice them faithfully. There are 8 of them, and the first one is the separation principle. That one.
Yes.
Yeah? You set up your car business, right, Evelyn? You set up that car business, and all the money in the business is your money. Hey. It's your money.
You're the boss. You're the owner.
You're the owner. Yeah. You chop the money because it's your money. Nobody's holding you accountable because it's your money. And in this book, Apostle tells a story of a family member who went to visit a church. Yeah? So after a service, like a service we've just had here, we go out in the parking lot and the pastor comes around and he's saying hello to some people. Yeah? How are you? And while he's there, guess what happens? A man riding a bicycle passes around selling fish. You know those fish, you know them that come hitting that car thing, I don't know what it's called. That one, yeah. So passes by selling fish. So he's in a small parking lot with his congregants saying hello, and then this fish guy passes by. And he calls the guy, yeah? So he checks in the fish basket, selects the one he really thinks this one will do for lunch, yeah? Will do a good job for lunch. And then what happens? He calls the usher. Hey, Kaposh, bring that money. You know? And when Kaposh brings the basket, he picks out the money and pays for the fish. Hey, what's the problem?
You're the pastor.
You're the pastor. In fact, you're the one who called for the offertory. Excuse me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and then what I like about that pastor is that he did it openly. So he wasn't hiding anything.
Transparency.
He was transparent. He wasn't hiding anything. It's his church. He set it up. Are you the owner of the vision?
No.
Are you the one who brought the vision?
No, sir.
No, sir, please. Yeah. So he goes ahead and pays for the fish, right? After he pays for the fish, of course, Upmost family member is like, hey, how many of us here would be so excited to give our tithe and arise and build an offertory after that experience? Tell me, come on. How many of you be so like, Pastor, give me another pledge card. Just give me another. In fact, make them two. But guess what? Most of us, that's what we do in our businesses.
And we expect the pastors should not do it.
Exactly. So we expect the pastors not to do that, but in our businesses, we're doing exactly that. Yeah? When the money comes, it's your money. You chop the money. Let me tell you, growing up, we had a neighbor who set up a very sizable grocery shop for his wife. He was a very hardworking man. And so after setting up the grocery shop, it was really sizable, he went back to bricklaying, one of those really hustlers. Sets up a good shop, goes back to bricklaying and tells his wife, attend to this, run the business. Guess what will happen? Every single time a hawker would pass by selling nice dresses, she would buy for the babies. Every time the ice cream vendor, you know those ice cream vendors that pass by in the afternoon with like a sound, passes by, she'll buy ice cream for the boys. You know, all that kind of stuff. And then they moved from a sizable space into a smaller space because the shop kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. They went to a smaller space. And when they went to a smaller space, eventually they stopped existing. The shop doesn't exist today, yet they have all the children. But imagine if they created the separation principle where you put a firewall between your personal finances and the business's finances. You know, in fact, some good business people have a bag around here in their waist. You know that famous bag? You know, so when people are selling, you're putting in your bag, and then when you want to buy yourself something, you pick from the same thing. So if you don't want your pastor to do that, then you shouldn't do that for your business. We shouldn't do that for our businesses. There must be a firewall between our money and the business's money. The business has its resources, I have my resources. The business should have its own accounts, I have my own accounts. The business should have its property in its names, and I have my own properties. When we practice that principle faithfully, the business will have money to be able to run long term. Without the separation principle, you can't account for how much money has come into your business. Because you keep putting it in and out, with taking care of these different things, there's no separation. So you can't account for it. You don't know how much has come in. You don't know who gets paid what. You have no clue. But we need to set up the separation between our personal finances and the business finances. The second principle is the vision principle. You know, initially you set up your business with a vision of feed my family. Yeah, it's not a bad thing, right? You've been through a straightforward financial growth mastermind, started your income streams, come on now, and you're making the money, you know? Every single week you send your coach the paper, the income streams document, the money has gone higher, it's your money, yeah? But there's no vision of the future. Why are we doing this business and to what end? There's no vision. Every single time you don't have a vision for your business, you don't have a reason to work. You cannot, when you hire people and put them in the business and don't give them a vision, they will work the way they want, turn up at whatever time they want, talk to your clients whichever way they want to. There are no targets to work towards. Basically, there's no bigger reason for us why we are here.
Life is just passing by.
Life is just passing by. Are we making some money? Yes or no? You need to have a vision. Vision is the picture of the future that ignites or fuels passion. Once the vision is big enough, we have a reason to wake up every single morning to show up. Once we have no vision, I might as well not show up, right? I might as well not show up because what's the reason? At Worship Harvest, we have this is our vision. This is the future we see. We see a future with 1 million disciples. 1 million disciples. 1 million disciples in 1,000 locations. In 50,000 missional communities that are engaging 50,000 frontiers, catalyzing spiritual, social, and economic renewal in 50,000 spaces. Bringing 50,000 souls to Christ a week. Yeah? Now, once you have a vision like that, as a location pastor, I know that I have, in this timeline, I should be releasing this number of leaders to start locations. You know, missional communities, how many souls are we bringing in? How are we taking care of those souls? Are we taking them in missional communities? Are they getting discipled? Are they sent out to plant? All those kinds of things. Because there's a bigger thing, there's a target we are working towards. Without a vision, people are not compelled to do anything. Vision is what compels people. So cast big vision. I know that when you're starting out, you're thinking about FMF, and then eventually you learn about vision. Then you said, okay, we shall do this bit. No, cast big vision. It's dreaming is free. Absolutely free. So get to that table with your team and say, no, let's create a future. What future do we want to see? Yeah, for this cosmetic business? What future do you want to see for that pharmacy business? What's the future? And draw it together so that every single morning you're working towards something bigger than you. Vision is what gives meaning to everyday tasks. Cast big vision and embrace the journey towards it. And guess what? Before you know it, you've achieved it, right?
Everyone runs with a vision. They own the vision and run with it.
In fact, there's more ownership because everybody there's something we are working towards. And so their passion is fueled and really ignited because there's something bigger that they're working towards. The third principle is the equipping principle, which I know that Upmore worked through last week. The equipping principle. If you've cast a vision, you know, and you brought all these people on board to help you fulfill your vision, then you need to equip them to be able to produce the desirable results. Sometimes we hire people and put them in the business and expect them to deliver certain type of results. And UpM did taught very deeply about this last week, so I won't even go deeper into it. But come on, look at me right now. The only reason I'm able to sit here to represent Momentum Leadership Group is because UpM and a bunch of other coaches have been investing in me, training me every single week. So the business doesn't get closed the moment UpM is not around, or Pastor Angela, or Pastor B3, the business is not closed. There are a number of other people who can continue running the business. So if you're focusing on the money, one of the things you need to do is to be intentional about training the leaders or the people that you employ in your business so the business can be able to run without you. When you equip them, you are guaranteed that you're going to achieve the desirable future. And he talked about the 4 T's. First of all, get the right talent. Yeah, talent is capacity, people with the right capacity to deliver the results you're dreaming about. Spend time with them, teach them, give them tasks, and when you do that, you will have a team that's able to deliver the desired results for your business. The process principle is the 4th principle. The systems you set up for your business will determine the volume you get, the volume of money you get. The systems and processes you set up for your business will determine. So picture with me, if the water in the River Nile right now all gushed into your compound, Pastor Chris, in Ndagire.
Death, flooding.
Isn't water a good thing?
Of course.
Of course, water is a good thing. But your compound is not designed to receive that kind of water.
Doesn't have the capacity.
Doesn't have the capacity, doesn't have the systems to contain, to receive and contain. Yet that same water is a blessing to the nation.
Oh, yeah.
Because of systems and processes in place, we're able to get electricity. But if that same water, you're like, you know what, that same water is producing electricity for the nation, let it come to my compound. It will just destroy everything in your compound. So guess what happens? We set up our businesses and dream about
revenues
of billions of money, you know. And when those billions come, think about it this way. The way you thought about River Nile coming into your compound when you're not ready for it, that's what billions of money will do to you when they land in your business. You're not prepared for it. It will just destroy you and the wonderful vision that you had for your business. So set up the principles, the processes, faithful, when you set up the processes, they enable you to be faithful. Because you know, this is what's going, from here, this is what happens when the money comes in, this is what happens, this one signs, it gets to the bank, it does this. Set up the processes. When you're faithful, then you're guaranteed for increase. Yes. You're guaranteed that everything is definitely going to increase. Some of the things we recommend in the book, and I'm going through this very fast because of the time that we have, but you can go back and read the book, it has the detail. Set up the principles, the processes. Bank the money every time it comes. Never spend unbanked money.
Yeah.
Never spend unbanked money. Bank the money that comes in. Never spend unbanked money. The money you bank will provide verifiable and independent record of transaction that your organization can present, let's say, to embassies, because banks are more, they produce more credible bank statements, that embassies will definitely be able to receive. So bank the money and never spend it. Bank it, and every time you bank it, of course, the receipts that come with it, file them. Yeah.
Paper trail.
Paper trail. Budget. What are you going to do? How much is it going to cost you? Have the budgets. Yeah. Then there's something called the paper trail. Every time money moves in one direction, there should be a document going the opposite direction. So every time I pay you, I give you a paper, you sign, and I take that paper back. That way you're able to track what happened when the money came in. Where did it go? Who received it? Did they sign? Every time money moves in one direction, a signed piece of paper must move in the opposite direction. You are never too small to start processes. Start acting like where you want to go. Don't say, my business is still small. I'm the only one who is employed. But if you want that business to become a big business, start acting like where you want to go. Set up processes. And Pastor Chris has a great example for this one.
So in the beginning, we were running a small business with a few people, and it was easy to run the process of finances. So I did maybe 90% of the work, from the invoicing to the collection to the banking. Now my beautiful finance wife, Jean, cheers, she gave us a manual for but I told her, we don't need this thing. But I didn't realize that we'll need it later. Yeah. So what happens now is that right from anything related to money, from the quotation, there's someone who does it, they know what to do. To the invoicing, there's someone who does that and they know what to do. Then to the collection, there's someone who does that and they know what to do. Then to the banking, budgeting, even going to the bank. I don't go to the bank anymore. Yeah. And then even someone does the accounting and reporting. So there's a process documented and trained for every anything related to money. Yeah. So most of the time, you find that I will probably just sign off a budget and sign a check, and then everything else does itself. Yeah. So it's important, because if you're going to do everything, you realize that as you grow, you cannot be everywhere. You can't go to the bank. You can't pay. You can't buy even procurement. No. You can't go and buy everything. You will spend your day doing that. So that process thing is very, very critical. I've seen it, and it's very powerful. Yeah. Having the documented systems for every process where the money passes. Yeah. Yes, every stage. Yeah.
Without processes, money will end up doing whatever it's there to, whatever. Okay, do you want to do this? Let's do it. Money will end up in places it shouldn't end up. We'll spend on things we don't need to spend on. We'll waste our resources. We won't be able to tell how much money we have got without the processes. Right? The fifth principle is transparency. Transparency, that one. Yeah. It's your business, first of all. Yeah, it's your business. Yeah. Why should you be accountable, right? There should be people who know what's going on in your business. Allow people involved in the stewardship to know what's going on. When people are unaware of what's going on, they fill the gaps with their own imaginations, right? Hey, boss, we just bought in a deal of 50 million. Now you're telling us there's no money, and your wife is looking hot. We see Jean passing here every single time in high heels. Tell us. And you say you can't give us a raise. Pastor Chris, do you have a good one for that one?
I have a good one. So, same story. Yeah. In the beginning, so you do the budget. Yeah. When we're still small, you do the budget, and then you sign it off, go to the bank, give the guys money to work. But most of the times when a budget comes, it is more than you have. because the guys on the ground will want to spend the way they want to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah? So they give you the budget, but meanwhile, the same guy collected a check of 20 million yesterday, but he's saying you don't have 3 million to give them to what?
Hey.
To work. So it was a big issue, a real big issue.
Yeah.
So until we started opening up, we're like, okay, every department should do their budget.
budgets.
But when the budgets came still, I still chopped it. And they still complain because they just saw money
coming in.
Meanwhile, they know the contract prices, they know
Yeah.
everything. So what happens now is what we did is we said, okay, guys, there is the budget, and this is how much money. So they you know they said the contracts are there. You know how much money is on each of the contracts. You know how much money comes in. You budget for the expenses. So this is what you, because we look at our budgets every week. So we said this is what is coming in every week. They know it. There is no income that they don't know. They are the ones who work. And this is the money you're asking to spend.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So all you do is have a target.
Have fun.
As long as you're not making a loss,
Yeah.
bring the budget and approve. So
Yeah.
now what happens is because it's open,
Yeah.
I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah.
Because there are some costs that are not seen to them.
Yeah.
Like insurance.
Yeah.
They don't see it.
Yeah.
Like rent, they don't see
NSSF.
it. NSSF, they don't see it. They don't see the
Taxes.
taxes. So you say, okay, guys, this is our budget, and this is what you're bringing in. You approve.
Have
it.
fun.
So even we reach an extent where we have managers approve budgets, which I approve. I say, okay, guys, make the budget, approve it. Then they started chopping the money themselves. They started fighting themselves. So now it's an open process because we opened up. There's no hidden cost and there's no hidden income.
Yeah.
So that transparency really helps to.
I don't need to add to that one. I guess it's clear, yeah? Be transparent with your partners, with your employees. Let them know what's going on. In fact, when you're transparent, like what you're doing, they will have even more ownership of the money and the process and
No,
everything.
they even come and say, but this customer is paying less than
we should
put.
Yeah.
We should increase this.
Yeah, because they now fully know what everything
Yeah.
looks like from start to finish.
Yeah.
The sixth principle is the appreciation principle. Periodically bring your partners together and appreciate them. When is the last time, business leaders, you appreciated your employees? I'm not talking about the salary you give them every single week. Of course you do that, and you should be doing that. But when is the last time you really appreciated them, told them you're doing a great job? Here is a ticket to Dubai. You know, you've hit your targets. Here is this. When is the last time you appreciated your clients, your repeat customers, your raving fans, people who are constantly bringing you business? When is the last time you did that? And yet you expect them to continue recommending more business to you. When is the last time you sent a thank you card to that client who is always bringing you business? When is the last time you had a meal with your staff? If you're a location pastor for us here at Worship Harvest, it's people who are partners, people who give towards the Rise and Build on all the other projects that we are running here. When is the last time you did that? Periodically bring your partners together to appreciate them. Give them accountability of what's going on in the business, envision them, receive their feedback. It creates more ownership. They are stakeholders in your business in a way. You might think this business, I'm the start and the finish, but you're not. All these people around you play a part in making your business succeed. So treat them as partners, treat them as stakeholders, and show it in the way you act towards them. Okay? The seventh principle, which is the second last, is the investment principle. Religiously set aside a certain percentage of your income for investments. You know, because when the money comes, you chop the money. If you chop the money and not set aside a certain percentage for business expansion, when opportunities come, you will not have anything to use. You will not have anything to use. And Pastor Chris has such a great example of that one as well.
So, COVID.
Yeah.
COVID comes, and then we have to make an investment. We have to make an investment. We used a lot of products. So we had to start manufacturing soaps and sanitizers because the ones we were using could not be imported or they were out of stock. We needed money to start that business, Ndagire Industries. So because we had been saving money aside, I think we really started doing a lot of that mid last year. We had some money to invest and run the business instantly. So that came in very handy as far as having money to set aside. But then there are other things like putting aside money for taxes, putting aside money for business growth, and putting aside money as profit. I think you're going to talk more about that. Yeah. So all those things, setting aside that percentage every time, maybe on every transaction, you put aside a certain amount of money for different things, for business growth, for profit, for expansion, etc.
Yeah. And like I just said, that these principles we also practice in Worship Harvest. And I've told you that since we started setting aside a certain percentage of all the money that comes in, we've been able to make investments worth billions of shillings, yeah? And we practice these same principles in Momentum Leadership Group. In the past couple of months, I think from last year, around August, September, we started practicing this principle of setting aside. We recommend 20%, and we've been setting aside 20%, and we've been able to invest over 30 million in investment. A business that's fairly just started.
There is a book there called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. It helps people to learn and understand the need for put aside the profit first. But also on that accounts thing, you can have accounts for taxes. Put aside an account for taxes. You put aside an account for a business for trading. You put aside an account for purchases, even for salaries.
Yeah. Usually, the way we calculate our profit as business leaders, it's revenue minus expenses. Yet in the first place, we set up the business to do what? To make a profit, right? So let's not be shy about it. From the book Profit First, which Grace Munyira recommended, who is Upmost friend, who is your friend, and now my friend. And now your friend.
Friends.
Your best friend. We learned this principle, profit first. Friends, many of us have run this temptation of running your business and just making sure it survives. You're like, as long as I can pay rent, as long as I can pay my workers. And 10 years down the road, you're running a business that's unprofitable. You've spent your blood and sweat encouraging your wife, one day I'll take you to Dubai, to Paris.
Yes.
You know, you give everything, and 10 years down the road, you have nothing to show for it. And you're so discouraged, you don't even want to look at the business. Start today. Revenue minus profit equals to expenses. Revenue minus profit equals to expenses. Every other thing should fit in the expenses. In fact, if every other thing can't fit into your expenses, you'll quickly realize you don't have a business, which is a good thing to realize in the beginning than later, right? Yes. So we recommend that you do that. Profit First. The book that we want you to read this month, in the rest month, as we go to rest, read Profit First and Buy Church Finances. Right here, these are the books, Essential Practices for Church Finances. Buy this book during the month of June, and the rest of the year you'll definitely see different results in your business.
And to it, you can add Straightforward Financial Growth.
Yep.
This one, it's also very powerful. The two come in very handy in both personal and organizational finances.
Yeah. And lastly, we recommend that you open up different accounts. Okay, open up different accounts for your business. Determine in the beginning that we will give out 10%. We recommend that you give a tithe of all your increase, and then set aside 20% for your savings and investment. Then open up a salaries account so that you know that the salaries are already taken care of. And every time you set aside that percentage, you realize that at the end of the day, you have money to pay salaries for months. Yeah? Open up a tax account. Have this money is going to the different accounts so that when the time comes for those things, for those activities, you have the money set aside. I think that's it for today. The last principle is the generosity principle, but we've run out of time. But when you buy the book, you definitely get all this information, and then share it with your team. Read the book with your team, read the book with your board, read the book with everybody, your stakeholders, and start implementing the principles. When you start implementing the principles, you're ready for increase.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Pastor Florence for this amazing download, yeah? Very powerful. Pastor Florence, thank you so much, yeah? Thank you so much. Very clear that people are touched. People have learned, so thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to encourage you. Buy these books, Essential Practices for Healthy Church Finances. They apply to, because principles are principles. They apply to businesses as well, and these are practiced and learned. All right. Now, just a reminder. First of all, save the dates: 8th and 9th July. But most of all, in the month of June, we don't have Business Garage. Right? Don't have Business Garage, so we encourage you to go and download all the previous sessions and listen to them as often as you can. So we'll have rest month in the month of June, so there will be no Business Garage. And as we close, the things you've heard, the things you've been learning now are biblical principles. And these things have been taught to us by God, by Christ. And it would be unfair to go without giving an opportunity to anyone who is there. You might be here in the studio, rather in the auditorium, or you're at home and you've not given your life to Christ. I want to give you this opportunity to give your life to Christ. Just put up your hand, raise up your hand, and pray with me this prayer. Father, I give you thanks for this opportunity to get to know you more. Yeah. I give you thanks that you've given me the opportunity to love on me, to guide me, to live in me, and take me on as your own child. So take my life right now and do something significant with it. I surrender everything of mine to you, and I accept you as my Lord and personal Savior. Amen. So if you say that prayer, there's a number on the screen, 0775 642 449. There's a pastor at the end of that line who will tell you what to do next. So call that number and you'll get guidance on what to do next. Again, thank you for joining Business Garage this morning. Have a blessed Sunday. Tune in at 9 and 11:15 for Garage.
We have no Business Garage.
And again, we have no Business Garage in the month of June. Thank you for being with us this morning. May you have a blessed week and God bless you all.